Chapter 7, Episode 14, The Invisible Man. By secret order of the Holy Emperor Elizabeth, a boy began his secret maneuvers under the cover of darkness in a cave on the continent of Gavin. He is Noah Lenotre, a second son of the Marquis Lenotre family and practically a knight of the Saint-Fleuve Empire. The secret order he received from the Holy Emperor was to protect and escort Clara Crewe, even at the cost of his life, and bring him back to the Empire. Immediately after Clara was abducted by Liken and others, Noah separated from the Saint-Fleuve Imperial fleet and pursued Clara. He had left the island where they had been held captive on their boat under the protection of the natives. The natives are very vigilant, with a good eyesight, hearing and 5 senses. No one, not even among them, could recognize Noah as an enemy. Liken and even the spirits she employs missed his existence. About the time the battle between Falmouth and Liken began, Noah took advantage of the chaos and infiltrated the enemy territory from the other side of the cave, easily penetrating the empty shell of the enemy territory. At times like this, I have a comfortable constitution. There's a reason Noah was chosen as the Holy Emperor's page. It's not just because Noah is the second son of an influential nobleman and has more than average divine power. It was because he had a special constitution that allowed him to erase his presence at will. It may be that he was born with the gift of shielding existence. If Noah does not always talk to someone, his existence will not be discovered and his existence will not be recognized. You should be able to hear footsteps and such, but for some reason no one can detect their existence unless you speak out. Elizabeth is the only one at the Saint-Fleuve court who knows about Noah's nature. Since I was a child, my life has been neglected by most people. Even his relatives were horrified, saying that he suddenly appears, suddenly disappears, and only his voice is heard. He continued to be shunned by his brothers, who said he might be an evil spirit. His mother neglected him and his father didn't care if Noah wasn't around. When you can't stand the hunger and want someone to recognize you, you always talk, or if you take loud steps and get closer to your destination, you finally get noticed. This is his daily routine. No one notices his presence, no one cares. Noah, who spent his childhood in such a state, thought he had no purpose to live, let alone his own value. After all, he was born invisible. It was in response to this that I ended up talking a little because I wanted someone to take care of me. He was sent to serve in the palace as if he had been half expelled from the Marquess house, but only the Holy Emperor was the first to notice Noah's abilities and utility. His qualities made him ideal for espionage and assassination, and he was able to quickly identify troublesome elements in the court. And indeed, he brought down the hammer of justice on traitors and exposed evil. Despite his frivolous appearance, he is quiet, smooth, and occasionally disruptive and distracting. The Holy Emperor's mission seemed to him a pleasure and a release from solitude. Noah became the Holy Emperor's eye, caring for the prince, sharing her many secrets and even knowing her weaknesses. Doing things for her, being picked up by her. It was the only way for Noah to be recognized by others, and it was also a way to make others recognize him, and it was also a way to make fun of his family who had neglected him. I want to advance in life as fast as possible, conquer a territory, and live a fun and carefree life. Living day by day with such a goal in life will surely only deepen the loneliness. I have nothing. I am empty. Therefore, as long as I served at the imperial court, I thought that I would obey the Holy Emperor's orders without fail. If she asks me to take Clara home, I will kill the whole crew and drag her back. He was so prepared. Ever since Noah came to this continent, he prepared in secret from the sailors. That consisted of preparing spare staffs, firearms, and magical formations in bushes and behind rocky areas. Because spacewalks take a lot of time, it is not possible to carry a lot of luggage all the time, and the main bases where weapons and food are prepared stand out too much. He was concerned about this. In addition, Admiral Jean's main base of operations on board was a concern. They probably believe that a ship on the ocean is never attacked from land. And they overestimate the skill of divine art users. But during an outboard action, a ship is attacked by a surprise attack. At sea, there is no advantage, and it ends up with an enemy with a map gaining the upper hand. I can't believe that everyone's weapons are taken away. Especially since wizards without wands are inferior to commoners in the physical arts. Using a sacred staff confiscated from the locals, he explores the cave, which resembles an ant's nest, as if the locals were out for a walk. Noah's ability to hide is at its best when infiltrating enemy territory. Oh, here. When Noah found the warehouse where the wands of the divine arts users were kept, he destroyed the door with divine arts and recovered the wands. I can't have enough for everyone. I don't know whose wand to take. Noah, who was a little worried, decided to bring Clara's wand, and then two in order of price. Even a piece of wood can become a stick when the priest sings the consecration. It is not necessary that everyone carries all the wands of the user of the divine arts. He tells himself that the most necessary is enough. Everything did not go as expected. Although Noah prepared for human attacks, there were times when he could not prevent them. It was a schistosomiasis infection. Carelessly stepping into Lake Titicaca, the accumulation of fever and fatigue saps my physical strength. Nevertheless, he whips his exhausted body forward. Undaunted, he walked toward the sound of voices. Natives pass each other through the passage, but no one notices Noah. After many forks, Noah found their quarters in a cave. The living quarters were filled with young women and children who appeared to be non-combatants. He notices a strange smell in the living quarters. It looks like something is burning. Noah raised his wand and decided to destroy everything in the place by bringing wind to the flames. These guys are all enemies of the Empire. We can't let them live. Now is the time to launch a surprise attack. The light of divine art dwells at the tip of Noah's staff. However, I wonder if he sensed Noah's murderous intent and heard a baby's cry out of nowhere. After a pause of several seconds, Noah slowly lowers his staff. Hey, I don't like it, I'll pretend I didn't see it. As Noah was going crazy, he heard a loud noise in the depths of the cave. I have a feeling that a fierce divine battle is unfolding. Someone used a divine art with water attribute. In other words, there are companions who can use divine arts. Noah ran. Material creation and material elimination. Now the pair of forces is about to split and collide. Liken directed the red thunder, the root of nothingness, directly at Falma. Falma read the clear intent of the attack. Only if can be shot with matter erasure. Falma threw away all his experience in fighting divine arts and his hand in fighting evil spirits and immediately created a wall of ice with material creation in response to Liken's shockwave. His intentions are buffer, defense and counterbalance. His only option was to wait and see. Ritaka Mapeka, Liken murmurs in her own voice. Raising her right hand, Liken unleashed a shockwave that trembled with a whisper, as if the chant was just an accessory. There is no guarantee of life for everyone on the island, just by hurting Liken's spirit a little. The ice wall that should have stretched Falma disappeared like a phantom when it received the shockwave. Dry sand falls from the ceiling of the cave. Falma turned his attention to the quicksand and looked around. After all, did you use erasure of water? Comprehend the details of Liken's attack with the first hand. What happened? Unable to grasp the situation, Clara shrugged her head. If it had not been a guard, it would have been an instant death when the water was removed from his whole body. Falma's creation of matter and the effect of the god medicine of now counteracted and somehow managed to avoid instant death. Extinguishing water, even if it's a one-point breakthrough, there's nothing that's scary. Falma immediately recognized the danger. Because water is the source of life activity. Finally, the other party was determined to kill Falma and the others. Lack of water causes dehydration and electrolyte imbalance in the human body. Its power in interpersonal struggle is immeasurable. It was a taboo ability that Falma had strictly forbidden himself to use, and although he knew of its power, he never used it, and it was originally a deadly ability. Liken raised her right hand and aimed it at Falma. It is the same chant as before, but the same technique is not always used. At this point Falma's gaze met Maline's back for a moment. From the depths of the cave, someone was approaching step by step, oblivious to the air of battle. The sound of footsteps makes Maline seem unconcerned, and none of the natives behind her seem to have noticed. Is that Noah? It was Noah, who had lost his whereabouts and was approaching with a stick. Falma holds her breath. If Maline notices it now and turns around, Noah will die instantly. When Noah's eyes loosely met with Falma, he synchronized his lips with Falma and told him the name of the divine technique, Ice Wall. Noah is the wind attribute. Did you tell me to use it? Falma couldn't read Noah's mind, didn't move at all, and unleashed a wall of ice to direct Maline's consciousness. It's the same defense against the same Maline chant as before. Dare to be incompetent to Maline. Behind the ice wall, Falma freezes the current divine medicine and pours it over Noah like frost. This brought Noah into a volatile immortal ward. After reading through Falma's countermeasures, Maline's mouth lifted as if she had the confidence to win. Immediately, a shrill chant rang out in the cave. Neither Falma nor Maline, Noah gave the activation chant. Holy Tornado. Right now, as if the existence of Noah suddenly appeared there. Maline and the natives she accompanied all turn around. Leaving their dismay behind, Noah's divine ability had been completed and already activated. Maline and the others, blinded by the rainbow-colored lightning of the holy tornado and blown away by Noah's explosion, collided with the ice wall Falma had created. When Falma blocked Noah's storm with a wall of ice, Noah unlocked the cage and saved Falma and Clara. Even Falma, who was quick to tempt prisoners to escape by racing the prison bars, had no choice but to thank Noah for losing the material erasure. Thank you, Noah. I'll never forget that kindness for the rest of my life, will I? Noah tosses Clara a stick and hands it to Clara as they collapse from the impact. What's wrong? But you saved me. As Clara panics, she catches the stick Noah is pointing at with both hands. Is it okay if I take this opportunity to retreat? I agree. Something has gone wrong. I want to turn things around. Falma was aware of the need to regain the ability to erase matter, but drew a curtain of steam to blind her and tried to escape the cave. Maline, go somewhere, can't you summon them at best? While Clara was out of breath with her unaccustomed running form, she made a motion as she ran after Falma and Noah. What do you mean? If you force me to travel, I can use my divine arts. In other words, I can predict Maline's actions. At best, my heart will die before that happens. What is the definition of a journey? Isn't it treated as a move if it's only a short distance? Noah seems doubtful, but Falma answers in the affirmative. Can you tell me more about that? Falma takes over Clara's plan. Suddenly, Clara's legs became tangled and her walking speed slowed. It seems the lack of daily exercise is getting worse. Oh, I'm out of breath. I've been lazy all day. You should at least walk and practice divine arts. I'm tired. Everyone gets tired. Clara and Noah have a comedy-like exchange. It is not possible to shoot at the elimination of matter unless the target is visually recognized. In other words, it is necessary to leave Maline's 5 senses immediately. If you run, you will not make it in time. Falma turned around, put the medicine god's staff in his mouth, and firmly grasped the right and left hands of the two. I entered a low flight as I accelerated to escape from the cave. Gia. Unprepared, Noah and Clara clung to Falma's wrist, and their cries echoed in the cave. Lot wakes at dawn and leaves the servants' quarters she shares with her mother Catherine, to relieve herself. I'm afraid the toilet is far away. Falma, who had returned from the Holy Land, was concerned by the toilet situation in the Holy Land, separated the toilet from the living room, and had the toilets of the Du Medici's household equipped with flush toilets. Lot was about to go back to her room, yawning, from the toilet at the end of the corridor, when she noticed a strange noise coming from the entrance on the 2nd floor. I can also hear some conversations. I try to point with my foot and it stops. What is that? It could be a suspicious person. Do you want me to wake someone up? No, it could be the sound of the wind. After hesitating for a while, she took a broom from the cleaning toolbox, held it in both hands, and timidly walked down the stairs. In the room where the light was streaming, Blanche was arguing with Simeon, the high-ranking servant who was supposed to be in charge of Falma. Blanche, carrying a large luggage that was to leave on a trip, shook her shoulders and looked down. "I must have planned to leave it from the beginning." Simeon stepped in for such a Blanche as if he were in trouble. Simeon is usually calm, but when Blanche is his opponent, he seems to have problems with it. First, Bruno, Pallet and Blanche are particularly difficult in the de Medici family and are shunned by the servants. As Blanche's servant, Lot may have selfishly let her date her many times, but she got along well with Blanche, who was overwhelmed by other servants. "I want you to find out where my brother and the others went." Simeon is influenced by Blanche, who does not understand reason. "I apologize, but no one, including the butler, has asked where Falma Sama is going. I will put it in, so please drink it and have a good night. Falma Sama and Pal Sama will surely return tomorrow." However, it was not Blanche who passed this deception. Lot, gently leaning the broom hidden behind her back in the corner of the room, naturally approached Blanche. "Blanche Sama, what happened? Did my brothers leave me and go somewhere? He won't be back until tomorrow because he has a divine exercise tonight." "No, you can go back once. I wasn't called to work, so I don't know where I'm going." Scratch your head as if Simeon were dead. "We all took to the sky and went west." "Ha ha ha. That's true. You were dreaming, Blanche Sama." Simeon said it, but Lot looked at it seriously. "Did you fly into the sky?" "Falma Sama can fly, so it could be true. I pulled everyone with my brother's stick." With these words, Lot strengthened her conviction. "Blanche Sama, can you tell me more about your story in bed?" Lot winked at Simeon and made a gesture to accept the rest. Simeon left with a relieved expression on his face, but from his back I got the impression that he was worried about Falma's absence. As usual, Lot skillfully takes Blanche back to her bedroom, dresses her in a negligee, brings her a warm drink and gets her to sleep. Blanche seems restrained. "Brothers, you have really flown to heaven." "I believe you, Blanche. Are your brothers safe after they return from the exercise?" Lot exchanges words while combing Blanche's beautiful blonde hair. The big brother and the master were hurt, but the little brother seemed to be okay. "Last night there was a large-scale exercise where evil spirits were suspected, so he said he would not return until tomorrow. Falma will not participate, but Ellen and Pal said they would participate in the battle, but Lot thought of returning home early in the middle of the night." "Did you go even though you were injured? Is it urgent then?" Blanche nods loudly. "Yes. A woman you don't know?" "I couldn't see him clearly because he was too far away, but he seemed like an amazing person." "Who is it?" Lot recalls. "In the middle of the night, I visited the de Medici's family." Pal is also considered a modest opponent, a daughter of considerable family status. Her hair color was like a mixture of silver and blonde, and her eyes were red like rubies. His Holiness, no doubt. Lot, the court painter who served her, understood immediately. She is the only noblewoman with such striking features and the only daughter of a son of a noble family. Blanche, seeing Lot's reaction, looked Lot in the face. "Lot, do you know him?" I know someone similar, but I'm not sure." Lot's eyes began to swim. There is no way to tell that Elizabeth, who is the Empress of the Sun-Flute Empire and also serves as the High Priestess of the Holy Kingdom, escaped from the palace and was in the de Medici's household. I didn't know him. He said he would be back tomorrow. As long as Lot remembers, Saint Elizabeth will have regular duties tomorrow night. If he doesn't return, the Empire will fall into chaos. If you have been confirmed, everyone can return safely. Lot realizes the seriousness of the matter and can't stop sweating. "I see. Master had an unusual amount of luggage. He seemed to be staying for several nights. Eleanor Sama is always ready. I'm sure he'll be back tomorrow. The promise will be fulfilled." Lot encouraged Blanche to do so, and when she finally fell asleep, she gently adjusted the blanket so as not to wake her and left Blanche's room. Charlotte. No sooner had I left the room than Simeon approached me, pale-faced and carrying a note. "This is in Falma Sama's room." What was handed to me by Simeon was a card somewhere with notes written all over it, as if Falma had explained something. Falma Sama was explaining something to His Holiness. Then the destination was the Gavan continent. I heard that the journey to the Gavan continent takes about a month by boat. Even if you fly through the skies, there is no way you can return in one day, let alone get there. Lot makes such predictions. Lot is upset, but there is nothing she can do. Simeon sheepishly asks a question. I wonder if Falma Sama and the others left by boat for the Gavan continent. I don't know if it's a ship or not, but I'm sure it was headed there. I guess it flew into the sky, as Blanche said, not a ship. Lot easily believed it. No way. Why didn't Falma Sama tell me where it was going? Simeon pessimistically lowered his head, thinking that he was not trusted. I'm sure Falma Sama must have had something to do with it. More importantly, Simeon Sama, I think it's better to strengthen the mansion's defenses from tonight. I heard that there was a large-scale divine art exercise. There may be evil spirits in the capital that could not be completely purified. Falma said that as a legitimate patron deity, he protected the entire continent with his powerful divine force. If he went to the continent of Gabon, what would happen to the defense of that continent? Will his power reach beyond continents? Lot, stirred by the agitation rising in him, chose his words with Falma in mind while advising Simeon to strengthen the security of the mansion. Okay, that's right. I'll let you know in a minute. Lot's nervousness seemed to transfer to Simeon as well. When Lot returned to her room, she cut up a brand new holy paper. After cutting it to a suitable size, I poured the holy oil I got from Melody into a small bottle, dipped my brush into it, and began to write the talisman of the flame magic circle. From now on, I will make talismans continuously for a moment and place them in key places to prevent evil spirits from entering. If an evil spirit appears, the talisman can be destroyed instantly. Still, Lot did not stop her hand, as if praying for its safety.